Hello everybody and welcome to my latest video on my YouTube channel, McEvoy Photography. This week I am going to tell you about the blog post which you will find on my website, https://rickmcavoyphotography.com. It is titled, excuse me for looking at the screen behind, RAW versus JPEG, why I shoot in RAW and share in JPEG. Last week on my photography blog I explained JPEG and what that means. I mean, we all know, us photographers know, that JPEG is a universally used format for images, but there is the other format which is called RAW. I did use sorry, my breathing's gone shocking again. I had this problem last time. I know I need to breathe when I'm doing a video, but I had a bit of a breathing issue. I think it's just because I'm not used to talking to myself, and let's be honest with you, if you had to look at my face on the screen, you'd be nervous as well. Anyway, getting back to the subject in hand. I shoot in RAW, I edit in RAW, I share photos in JPEG, I issue photos to clients in JPEG, but image capture is all done in RAW. Why do I do this? Dead simple. JPEG is a lossy method of compressing files. When I say lossy, I mean there is a loss of quality every time a JPEG file is created, which doesn't happen with RAW. So a JPEG image has processing built in, things like the white balance, brightness, tones, colours, sharpness, saturation. Those things are all baked into a JPEG file and they cannot be undone. Sure, they can be amended and there are workarounds for things like colour balance, but basically the processing is done to a large extent for you at the time of image capture. If we go with RAW files, complete contrast. RAW as in, well, take the food analogy, raw, uncooked. RAW file, uncooked, no processing. Say no processing, not strictly true. If you import a RAW file into Lightroom, you will find that Lightroom applies sharpening to the level of 40. Now, I normally apply sharpening between 60 and 80. Not that detailed, really. Sorry, no pun intended about the detailed. But apart from that, there is no other processing done. That's why a JPEG file looks much better than a RAW file, because a JPEG file has had some processing applied at the time of image capture. Sorry, my breathing's dreadful, isn't it? I'm going to try and do this every week, this kind of video about my blog, and in time I will get better. Slight digression, if you want to see some other poor quality videos by me, check out my website paxostravelguide.com and its associated YouTube channel, where you will find some equally bad breathing and talking techniques. Anyway, back to the issue in hand. So I shoot in RAW. I import photos into Lightroom in RAW. I edit the photos in RAW. If I'm doing HDR merge, which is merging 2 or 3 files together to create a new image with a wider dynamic range, then Lightroom cleverly makes a new DNG file, which is in effect a brand new RAW file. Once the editing is done, I will then export the images out of Lightroom and I will then change them to JPEG format. The reason for this is that my clients, mainly architects, builders, developers, they're not interested in photography, they're not interested in Photoshop and Lightroom, they just want to get some files, open them, share them. JPEG files are fine to open, RAW files you need specialist software for, so that's why they are converted to JPEG. At the same time, I reduced the size of the files. Again, this is in Lightroom and this will vary depending on the use of the images. Sorry, I've started rocking in my chair now. Yeah, so on export out of Lightroom, I convert the images to JPEG. If they are images going to a client, I just do them as 100% quality and full size. If I am exporting images for uploading to my website, I will do those at either 1500 pixels wide or 900 pixels wide. This makes for a much smaller file, which makes page load speeds quicker. But I'm going off the point of it now. Point of this is RAW versus JPEG, why I shoot in RAW and share in JPEG. I shoot in RAW to get the maximum quality out of every image capture with the minimum processing done automatically at the time of capture. I'm quite proficient in the use of Lightroom, not so good at Photoshop to be honest, but don't tell anybody. So I want to do the editing myself, I want the control over everything. And I also want the maximum information my Canon 6D sensor can capture. So, capturing RAW, sharing JPEG. Basically that's what the post this week is about. Next week we have, what do we have next week? Bear with please. I've written next week's post already. I just can't remember what it is. This is an age thing I think. Oh yeah, next week, Tuesday the 7th of May, minimalist travel photography gear. This is what I use. That's done, written, ready to go. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. I know the quality is poor at the moment, but it will get better. Please check out my blog post, why I shoot in RAW and share in JPEG. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next week.